What's up, the boxing world? Welcome to Strictly Boxing with Derek Poppy Rolon, and with my partner Rodney Price, man, and dangerous Danny Gonzalez, man, up and coming super lightweight, up and coming 7-1 or 6-1.
6-1.
6-1 with 6 KOs. He's moving up, man. He's fighting in Atlantic City on August 9th. At the Hard Rock in Atlantic City. Come out to see Danny Gonzalez. He'll be returning back to the ring. He just came back from a win a couple months ago, and back in Atlantic City again. We're gonna make that our home, man. So, Danny, man, what do you think, man, about your comeback, man? What do you think about? Tell me a little bit about your boxing career, how you started, and how things going with you, man.
So, I didn't have a long boxing career. I started about a little over 4 years ago. I got in the gym. I just wanted to learn. I've always been a big fan. Grew up watching Pacquiao, Cotto, guys like that, Floyd Mayweather, and then I just wanted to learn. And then I was better than I thought. Started fighting the amateurs, winning fights, winning Golden Glove, winning Diamond Glove, and then before I know it, I was fighting as a pro. And now I'm 7 fights in, about to be 8 fights in. Hopefully after this fight, move up to 8 rounds, and 10, 12, and then so. But I really just started boxing because I love the sport and I want to learn.
Danny to me, and Danny Rodney, you could also confirm this, man. I've never seen anybody work as hard, more disciplined and dedicated than this young man. This young man got it all. He's a very respectable young man as well. I asked him to do something, he'd do it with no problems. Man, what do you think about that, Rodney?
I love that, man. I look at Danny and I look at how he trained. Anything we tell Danny to do, he'd do it. I say to myself, wow, I wish I was like that. I had the discipline and stuff like that. I'll be a world champ. Danny is a pleasure to be working with. We tell him to run, and he'll run and do how many laps we ever tell him. And his favorite word is whatever you want, coach. And I like that in a fighter.
Yeah, a fighter like that with that personality, man, we can take him wherever he want to go, he can go, man. I keep emphasizing that in him, man, that he can go and do whatever he want, man. Danny, where do you see yourself, man? No, I wanted to talk to you about the lost fight, man, because not the last fight, but the one before last, man. You took your first loss, man. How was that, man?
It was definitely a good learning experience. Obviously, you want to win every fight you can. No one wants to lose, but it's made me a better fighter. I had to take a step back and reevaluate some of the some ways I was approaching the fight. I always train hard. I do whatever you guys tell me to do, but I realized that, like people say, and it sounds cliche, that, but a lot of it's mental. So I had to, think about how I was approaching the fight. I got too comfortable with trying to knock everyone out, and it got me into trouble. But, then this last fight that I just had, I reverted back to boxing, and, I have good trainers that, instilled that into my mindset. Boxing, staying calm, staying relaxed, seeing the things instead of, being more observant instead of just going. So I learned a lot over the loss. When you take a loss, there's one or two things you do. You either repeat it and you take another loss, or you try to fix it and you go forward and fix your mistakes.
How did it feel to bounce back and get another win from an experienced fighter, your last fight, and another KO, and redeem yourself? And how did that feel, man, to come back in there like that?
I felt great. I fought a good fighter, a lot of experience. He was crafty. He was a veteran. And then I got 6 rounds in all my other fights. I had 3 first-round fights, 1 3-round, and a 4-rounder. So I got to go 6 rounds, so I got to, also see how it felt to, go a little bit of a distance, and I got to get experience, and I had to try different things out. And like I said, it feels good when you take out a good opponent. It doesn't feel very good when you're fighting someone who's 0-3, 0-4. So it felt good to bounce back and know that the things we were working on.
Yeah. And you used them, man, which was good to see you learn. And Rodney teaches the boxing aspect of it, man. And I love that he's part of our team, man. That he's got that experience to box and move, and I really like that. But a lot of people thought that it was a bad thing that we was going to jump right back in the ring, and that maybe we should take a long time off, and maybe we should not, fight so soon, maybe shouldn't take on this one. We get a lot of outside information from people saying things, man. And I always wanted to tell you, man, like I use from my own experience, man. In 1994, I fought my first title fight, man, against Quincy Taylor, man. And my corner stopped me in the 8th round, man. Wouldn't let me back in, out. That's but you lost, man. And your first time you get stopped, and nothing I needed more than to jump back in there and get another win. And I knew that because I went through it, and I knew how I felt when it happened to me. And my trainer, we jumped back in there. We took a 10-round fight. I beat Kevin Pompey in the Boston Garden, and I needed that jump back in there and get a win after that loss. And I know that's what you needed, man. And I'm glad Rodney supported the decision, and we got you back in there, get a win, because it does a lot for your confidence, man, and get you back on. You know, man.
And that's a great thing with the team that you have, Danny.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Me and Poppy, we both been through it,
Yeah.
and we both somewhat think alike.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you have good guys in your corner, good team in your corner, man, we only go push you the right way.
Yeah, I'm very grateful, because, I always have confidence in myself, but it's good to, have a team that has confidence in myself. It's good to, you guys have my best interest in. It's not, you're not trying to just look out for yourselves, but you're looking out for me. So I feel very thankful. Like I said, you guys have a lot of experience, and you've been through some of the things I've been through, or I'm going through, as I would say. So,
Well, I see a lot of you, man, with your potential, man. I can see you as big as going to the world champion in the top fights. I see it, and maybe Rodney see it, but long as you see it, where do you see yourself compared to the up and coming guys, like maybe Abdullah Mason or some of the guys up and coming? How do you see you guys? How do you rate against them guys?
I think I can hang in there with anyone as long as I have a good camp and I'm training, and when I always train hard and I'm always dedicated, and I really do believe I can hang in there with anyone in the world. I believe that, I have a will to win, and I have a desire, and I work very hard. And, what I might lack in experience, I make up in heart, desire, and talent. I could punch with anyone in the world. I'll fight till to the end. So I really do believe, with more time and experience, I could take anyone on. And that's what I want to do. I say it all the time. I don't understand some of these guys that just want to do it and they don't want to, get to the pedestal. It's too dangerous of a sport to not want to aspire to be the best you can. So
People
I
think
envision
a
myself
lot of the boxing game is like a lot of building the fighter up, and I've never once asked you, how do you feel about this opponent or that opponent? Whoever you tell me to fight, you want to go.
That's it.
And that's the confidence we like.
And I feel like you at an age.
Of course.
You're 29.
Yeah.
Right? You're 29, so you thinking like, listen, I'm 29.
I gotta make things
I might
happen.
as well do it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want no easy fights. Let's just get ahead and fight. And
Yeah.
I like that in you. Let's do it right now. And
Yeah.
you at that age, whether you're
Of
gonna
course.
do it or not.
We
ain't got no time to sit and waste. You agree with it.
Yeah.
And Poppy agree with it, and we're gonna see what's going on in August.
Yeah, that's how I look at it, because I said I aspire to get to the top, and the only way I'll get there is if I have to take risks.
Right.
I have to take chances. I have to, maybe fight people that others outside of you guys don't believe I should be fighting. I heard that from the last 3-4 opponents I fought. Hey, you shouldn't fight that guy. And most of the time, except for one, it's worked out my favor.
Yeah.
So, but those are the risks I'm gonna have to take. Like I said, if I want to get to the top, where I, have an opportunity to fight, to be a contender, fight for a championship, I can't, I can't build my record like if I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it live, man. Here you is, man. Dangerous Danny Gonzalez talks about he wants to go all the way to the top. A New Jersey professional fighter fighting August 9th in Atlantic City for his 8th professional fight in Atlantic City at the Hard Rock Casino Hotel. Come out August 9th. Dangerous Danny Gonzalez returns to the ring. Danny Gonzalez on the road to becoming world champion. He's looking to go up against the best. This is Derek Pop rolling at Strictly Boxing.
Peace.
Peace.